my question is this. Obviously, people who know you know your faith and know what you believe in. So how does this fall into the whole Christianity thing? Because again, there's always been Jesus Christ, higher power, everything like that. But I'm not gonna sit and act like I'm versed with the Bible, but I don't think they ever specified aliens in the Bible. Not that I know of, from my knowledge. So how does this fall into religion, and does this make you, see religion in a different light? Because, like, for instance, there's always with Muslim and Christianity and whatever else, there's always, it's different stories and different, Kabbalism, Buddhism, whatever. It's always different stories, different interactions. Some people believe that Jesus was the Son of God. Some people don't. Whatever. So there's all these differences. So how does this affect your belief in religion? And do you still does it affect it at all? Does it not affect it? I want to know your answer on that.
Well, as a Christian, I believe that there's Jesus and everything, but it's they say Jesus is a higher power. Maybe it's we don't understand what it is, and it could be considered, because the alien's a big term. You don't know what that could be. Me as a Christian, exactly. I believe in God and all that stuff, but it's I'm still a human, so I don't know everything about everything. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe we have our limitations. I agree. Yeah, maybe when we were younger species of people, there was something a higher being that we didn't know what it was, and we just made that story of Jesus, and that's But
I get what you're saying.
It could still be Jesus, and for me, religion. I believe there's Jesus. I believe in the Christian religion, and for me, it doesn't really change that belief. But I do believe that, I don't know, exactly how to put it into words. But it's just if there's just us and we're a creation, why couldn't there be more creations? You know what I mean? There's some really crazy things on this earth.
And I get it, and that's the thing. So like I said, my initial soliloquy was, if I was a creator, I wouldn't create one thing on one planet. So I've always looked at it as if there is a God, how they speaking, if there, there's a higher power, God, whatever. Why would he do that? It doesn't make any sense. It just to me, I was it just doesn't make any sense. There has to be other beings out there. So. Well, my thing is I don't think it would affect I don't think it should affect what somebody believes in, because again, if you want to talk about the spiritual world, let's say that happily speaking, right? Okay, God's in the spiritual world, then this wouldn't have any bearings on that. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not in the spiritual world, we're in the physical world, right? Secondly, even if let's say happily speaking, God wasn't in the spiritual world, let's say he's in the physical, this book was written centuries ago. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you gotta think about things like this. This is why I look at things. If you showed a guy in let's say 1860 or whatever it is, right? Light bulbs or iPads and stuff like that, he's gonna be like, you're a magician. He's gonna think you did otherworldly things, because at that time these things weren't there. So who's to say that Jesus Christ, if he was the Son of God, whatever, was he doing crazy miracles? Maybe it was something that would have been crazy back then, but not crazy currently. Or let's say, for instance, right, what if this person came from
Back to the Future?
Exactly. What if this person came from the future and just had technology that we didn't have, or we didn't even think of or conceive? I truly believe that Elon Musk might be an alien or from the future, because the stuff he's doing, I feel like he's skipping a step. I feel like he goes from one, he takes the technology we have now and advances it so far, and I'm like, that's kind of surprising. How do you, because obviously the Tesla cars, the SpaceX program, and all the stuff he's doing, it's bro, how did you get from point A to point B? He created a tunnel, a train under California.
Oh yeah.
And then it was okay, what about earthquakes? And he was you saying that tells me that you don't know how earthquakes work. He said the plates on the top move. That's where the ground shakes, but the bottom below it does not move at all. It's like a wave. Excuse me. It's like a wave. When a wave crashes, it's the top of the wave, but the water, the ocean below it is steady. You know what I'm saying? It's the top that's crashing. So, but I'm saying that may be a thing, that there are aliens among us, or there might be people that are from the future, or just have technology that we didn't think about.
Yeah, I mean, even like sometimes it's hard to relate to your own species of people. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's a lot of times you see people and you're like, how am I, the same species as that person? Look what they're doing. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. Like, sometimes you look at people's like intellect level, and you're like, I'm not that smart. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
there's people that are like way better than you, or maybe they're way worse than you, or they're equal. But I am intelligent enough to say that I'm not like the best, right? Like, there's other people that can do way more better things than I can ever do.
Same here. I'm definitely not the best.
So it's like, you can't say that like we're all equal. Maybe we have a chance to become that if we work hard, but some of us has to work harder than others to create whatever we're going to create.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, for those who don't know, I have brothers who can draw very well, and I can't draw lick. In all my younger life, I see these guys drawing amazing pictures, and I was like, I would try, and I would sharpen my pencil and try my best, but it just didn't look as good. And it was just, and I had to realize that just wasn't my talent. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I got into the poetry thing and things of that nature, and that's basically where I cultivated my talent, and I realized that I was actually good at this. But that's the thing, like, maybe intellect may not be your thing, or maybe art might not be your thing, but maybe, you know what I'm saying, you can just see like schematics really well, or maybe you're just really good with numbers. All that stuff matters, you know what I'm saying? So,
or common sense. Like, I have two really intelligent sisters in books, but when you tell them something in common sense, they're just like, But I have a lot of common sense, but I'm not very book smart, you know? So it's like...
And that's the thing, too, with the book smart idea. Like, I don't know if I would rather be book smart or more business savvy, because I've seen people who are book smart who, are not successful. Mm-hmm. But there's people who are more business savvy and don't have, like, for instance, Bill Gates, you know what I'm saying? He didn't create, the program. He just knew how to, push it and sell it. And that's the thing, like, if you know what you're doing and how to sell things and how to, control and just dictate, you know what I'm saying? Because you see people all the time, people that are charismatic, people that know how to talk to people, people who can control people just by, them having a conversation.
Yep.
What's more, important, to be intellectual and be very smart and have no people skills, or be able to talk your way out of anything? You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
I mean, I think both are useful.
Obviously, in that way.
Yeah, but it just depends. Like, some people are more unrelatable to certain things than others. Like, if you're intelligent but you can't talk to people, it's a lonely life,
Exactly.
But if you could talk to people but you're a crappy person, you know what I mean? Or you're just doing it for your own advantage. Like, that's another scary thing too. Like, because if you are too good in that area, who's to say that you're not manipulating people into what, you want, versus like an intelligent person who's maybe mean. Because I feel like sometimes, like, when you meet people who are intelligent but they're a little bit mean, sometimes you feel more comfortable because you know that they're going to say what they think, and you could either handle that or not handle that. But I feel like when people are more intelligent, or like not good with people, it's kind of more comfortable to be around them, because then you know if they like you or not, because they're not going to hide that, because they can't. They don't have that ability. Like, I personally can't do that, but I've met people that are good at smiling even if they are not happy. And I can't do that. I can't hide my emotions.
I'm definitely,
you know what I mean? I don't think those people are quite normal to be able to do that, and that's scary,
I get what you're saying, because people like that, you always question their motives, because at the end of the day, are they smiling because they're actually happy, or are they smiling because they're just used to doing it? And like, see that, and that's the thing that kind of brings me back to the whole alien thing, because like, how do we know? Like, so for instance, right? And I gotta play devil's advocate, because I think aliens just interacting with them would be amazing. But I gotta be honest and look at my landscape and be like, okay, I'm thinking about the best case scenario. Maybe aliens come down and they're friendly and we're like, hey, and they show us technology and we advance and it'll be cool. But what if it's the opposite? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What if it's they're not friendly? They come down and they're like, hey, you guys gonna be subservient. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta serve us. You know what I'm saying? So my question is, how do you, like, do you think like, how do you think that is gonna go? Like, because let's say, hypothetically speaking, right? Are you a good enough judge of character to know if this alien is not?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's I'm like,
I'm not, definitely not. I have no idea. Like, especially an alien, it's like, okay, first off, I don't even understand people. So, an alien would be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, you're pretty much at their own mercy. And the other thing is too is like, what, you know, if they're that intelligent and they came to our planet, probably they can do whatever they want to do. So. You don't really have a like. Imagine if you were just sitting here and I'm an alien. You know, like, what do you even say? What do you do? What is your question? And would they even answer it? Because is it stupid to them? You know, like, imagine, like, you have a kid. Yeah. I have a kid. Sometimes kids say things, and you're like, do I answer this or do I just let them figure it out? You know what I mean? Like, and like maybe an alien would think the same thing because they know that they're a little bit more intelligent than you, and then they look at you like, this is an annoying creature. You know what I mean?
But see, I totally get that, because if they are that much more advanced, because again, they like, we created ships that can't even go to other planets yet. We like, I think we got to like the space station, and now Elon Musk is trying to create a spaceship that goes to Mars. That's his goal, go to Mars, right? And it's like, okay, well, we're just trying to go to Mars. What if this person came from another light year away? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if it's some, like, Star Trek, you know what I'm saying, Star Wars type thing, he came from another light year, and he understands quantum physics and things of that nature to the point where we don't get it. Yeah. So, like, it's like you said, it's like talking to somebody that's much more less intelligent to you. And my thing is that even if we, let's say they are nice, what if we can't just comprehend? Because again, like, are they going to be able to speak English? Are they going to have a translator?
Are they just going to be able to put things in your mind?
Exactly.
And then if you're not a good person, or like, let's say you are a good person or whatever, like, you have your own thoughts and they can read it without you saying anything, you know, that's kind of a creepy thought too.
Exactly.
Like, they might know what you're thinking. Like, you know, they already know, maybe they'll know without you saying, like, if you think they're scary or a threat, you know. I feel like if they came, we would be more like a dog to them, you know what I mean? Like they're either going to think we're cute and keep us, or they're going to put us in like a shelter. You know what I mean?
That sounds horrible.
And rent us out to other aliens.
I mean, that would. I don't think I would do well as a dog.
They'll have to put a picture online. Yeah, like, this human, 2 months old. You know what I'm saying?
Been neutered. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're good. But I get that. Like, again, like, sometimes I feel like we, you know what I'm saying, we gotta be careful what we wish for, obviously. Yeah. But the whole alien thing, it sounds fascinating, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be...
It's a scary thought.
But also, again, but that's the thing, I also don't want to be afraid, too, because my thing is, you know, when you go in with fear, you're always on the defensive. And if they can read thoughts and read, you know, like, vibrations and emotions, they're going to be like, this person's very defensive in this situation, so why approach them, or, you know, maybe I should be defensive too because they're defensive. You know what I'm saying? That type of deal.
And if they're that intelligent too, they already see our own history of us with each other.
Exactly.
So maybe, you know, they might be saying, like, to themselves, maybe we shouldn't go here yet. You know, they might already could go here, but they just choose not to because it's like too unstable.
And that's the thing. And my question also is this, okay, and I agree, they might be like, hey, you know, because we seen what they did to, you know what I'm saying, like, all the other countries, destroying it, dropping nukes, you know what I'm saying, look what they did to Hiroshima and Nakamura, you know, dropping the nuclear warheads and all that stuff, like.
They might think, like, this species is crazy. It kills itself. Why do we need to come here?
Exactly. You know? That's the funny thing about it. So it's like, well, here's my other question, all right? So what if they come here and they introduce something that can heal anything? Like, let's say they're like, okay, well, you guys still get sick, you guys still age. What if, you know, we don't do that?
Isn't that what vegetables are for?
No. Let's say that makes me they have
like some kind
tool
of
or something that just stops you from aging or stops you from getting sick.
Well, maybe they can, like, leave that and then, you know,
and then
go away.
So I'm like, okay, like, here's let's say hypothetically speaking, if they had something like that, would you want to live forever? Because I don't think I would. I don't think I want to live forever.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean,
the good thing about it, your kids won't die. You know what I'm saying? And your wife won't die. So it's never like, okay, well, like, I don't know if you watched the show. It's called Altered Carbon. So basically, what the premise of the show is, they found a way to live forever. So they kind of put their brain in, like, it's called a stack. It's like a circular thing they put in the back of their neck. So their bodies are like husks. It's not really them. It's just like husks of you know, flesh, and they just put it in the stack in their neck, and they come back to life. so they just they call them rewound up because they put the stack in their neck and they come back. But they also talk about in the show that how warped people become by living forever. You know what I'm saying? Like things become mundane. You know what I'm saying? They have no fear of dying. Like all these things happen. So if you had no fear of dying, would you be urgent to get done what you want to get done? See, that's the thing. Maybe that's part of the reason why we
would make us more lazy.
Exactly, because there's a finite time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the other thing too is like, like it's weird. As a species, our whole thing is like, we want to live, right?
Yeah.
But the only guarantee we have is we're gonna die. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, I don't know if you want to live forever. Would that be boring? I don't know. It depends on the quality of life, what you can learn, what you can build.
That's the thing. At some point, it's like, all right, and would you ever do everything? Like, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. Like, if you live forever, you live 200, 300, 400 years. You travel the world. You've seen everything. You've seen everything. You've been in. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. These are people who live like 80 years. What if you live like 300, 400? There's literally nothing new under the sun. You've been and done everything.
That's the thing too. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that would be good. You know what I mean? Like,
and the other question I have too is, if space travel, so okay, obviously, let's say they come here and they teach us how to do space travel, and would we be able to go back in time? Would they know time travel also? And if we were able to go back in time, do you think humans should ever cross that bridge?
To go back in time?
Yeah, I don't think we should.
That would be such an interesting thing because you can change a lot of things in your own personal life that you didn't want or something. But at the same note, where you are right now could have formed you into who you are. So if you changed it, maybe you would be a different person in the future. So that gets really complicated. You know what I mean?
See, that's the thing I thought about too. I was always of the mindset I would never want to change nothing in my past because I like who I am currently. And if I change everything in my past, then I'm not gonna be who I am currently. Like, let's say, for instance, right? Okay, I didn't grow up with a lot of money at home. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up in a nice mansion or whatever, right? Let's say, okay, boom, I want to live in a mansion. Am I gonna have the drive I have now? Am I gonna be willing to, get in front of a YouTube, channel? Am I gonna be able to budget my water book? Because now I have money. You know what I'm saying? So what do I care about budgeting and you know what I'm saying, managing my money? I'm rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, so would it change me? And like, I think I genuinely care for people. You know what I'm saying? I'm genuinely a good person. Would I still be that good person? Because again, money changes people. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think money changes people. I think money enhances you. So if you're already bad, you're going to be worse.
I see. Here's the thing. I think that's true if your person was already developed. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, for instance, like Liberty now gets money. You're not going to change. You're already you're already you. You live like all this time without having money. But what if you was born with money? Now your values, now your mindset is different. Maybe you see things differently. Okay, you've never been to a Costco's now. Maybe you just we don't shop at Costco's. Let's say you don't wear it like
It could. I mean, like, okay, like I grew up in a working class family, and we weren't rich. We were pretty poor, I guess, and I seen rich kids because we went to school with them, and I seen how they act. And a lot of times they fall into bad things because they have resources available to them.
Exactly.
So it forms them into a person that you're like, wow, they have everything, but they do drugs or they're doing something stupid, for whatever reason. So yeah, it could change you. But I also think that it also depends on you as a person. Like even if you grow up rich, you could become an even better person of yourself and still be a caring and loving person. And the money maybe doesn't even matter to you. You know what I mean? I think even if like all of a sudden I was poor today and I'm rich tomorrow, right? It wouldn't affect me because now I'm mentally more mature than I was before. It would give you would have to be more disciplined now than ever before because now you have all these resources, right? But like it's like that's also a whole different level of responsibility too because now you're like, okay, now that I have this, you want to be responsible to do the right thing with it. Like I talked to my wife about that before. Like if you have all this money, I would still live in a modest home. I would have like you know, just because it's always been my dream to have a supercar, I would definitely buy like one Lamborghini and have, you know, and just be like the fun car. And the rest would be like a regular house, a regular cars, you know, living a normal life, even if I was a millionaire, because I don't want to I don't have desire to live in like a huge mansion or anything like that. You know what I mean? And you know, it would be like, what do you do with the rest of the money? You help people who need it, like, you know what I mean? And I guess growing up, I didn't have anything, so I felt, if you're like a worker and you have a lot of like things going on and you're trying, but you just need that little extra push in life, and you see that as a motivated person, you have that resource, now you can help that person to.
But see, that mindset is because of you, who you are. Think about that. Like, I would do the exact same thing, but that's because I've worked in places I was like, oh my God, I hate it here. And I have these dreams and I have these goals, but I just don't have the capital. I don't have the one little push or the network that I need. And then if somebody would come along and be like, hey, here, you know what I'm saying? Or let me help you out, let me introduce you to people. That would help me out and put me in that position, but I'll probably do the same because I'm in that position. That's because I've been where. So here's the thing, like, and you know, me and my friends talk about it all the time. Sometimes people fall out of touch, where they're, or just never been in touch, where they never experienced stuff, so they won't understand that this is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who's been rich all their lives. They don't even understand the issues that we go through because they've been rich all their lives. You know what I'm saying? That's not even on their radar. And I always say, you don't know what you don't know. Like, if you've never been, okay, if I grew up in a rich neighborhood, I always had rich friends, nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what I don't know. It's outside of my realm of thinking. So I can't be penalized for what I just don't know because I've never experienced it. So you say what you're saying, and I agree you would. But that's because you've been in, like, we know, you know what I'm saying? We've been in a situation where, like, oh, this sucks. You know
I mean, there's been times where I had to eat crackers for a week because I didn't have enough money.
You know what I mean? There's been times where I put sugar and water on bread and ate. So it's like, it literally is, but that made us who we are, one, and two, it'll make us give back when we in a situation to give back. And that's the difference.
And there was, there was a kid that I used to hang out with, and I didn't know that he was really rich. Until he invited me to his house, right? So I went to his house, and I guess his dad, he wasn't rich because he was like my age, but we used to ride bikes and play together, right? So I went to his house, and he had like a mansion. He lived in the richest neighborhood in the area, and this kid felt entitled for everything. You know what I mean? Like, so he would take your stuff and play with it. And if he broke it, he's like, Dad, don't worry, my dad will. Like, he just had that mentality of nothing matters if I break it. Doesn't matter if it's $1 or $1 million. He just had that mentality, and I've never seen that in a person until I met that kid when I was younger, and that really was like interesting to see. Like, is this? And then you also get confused by that because, like, if you're a kid and you don't have any knowledge of how you're supposed to be as if you gain that wealth, you know, are you supposed to be that way? Like, where you don't care about things now, you can just throw them away like they're garbage? You know, because if you think about it, even our country, right? If you make $35,000 a year, you're rich in every other country, right? So, you know, it's, you know, for us, we're always looking for more and things like that. And it's like, are we rich? You know what I mean? Like, we might think we're poor, but if we ate once a week, maybe we're richer than we think, you know? So it's all about, like, your mindset too, you know? It's like, yeah, we complain about things, but maybe it's even worse. Like, we have running water, we have toilets, you know, like, we have healthcare systems, we have resources. Even if you're, like, let's say you're flat broke, you're in the streets, you're homeless, and you have nothing, right? Well, Florida has a lot of that, but if you notice, like, there's so many resources. They can go to a homeless shelter, they can go to get clothes, they can go to churches to get food. Like, there's a lot of places and communities that help out, right? So, like, you have an obligation. Like, you can pick and choose who you want to become based off your decisions. Just like, you know, diets, doing a video, right? Like, you want to be a YouTuber, it takes a long time, right? So you can't give up. You got to keep doing videos. And then eventually all the hard work will pay off and you'll see it come to fruition, you know? It's not going to happen right away, but that's your vision, and if you keep working towards it, it's going to happen. So it's like the same thing goes for everything in life. Like, whatever you want to go after, it's a decision you have to make personally, you know? And you can't be influenced by other people around you, even if it's a tougher decision. Like, you know, you can respect their opinion, but you don't have to necessarily take it into account or like, oh man, I'm going to quit because this person's opinion thinks I should do that. You know what I mean? You just do what you feel is right in your heart, and everything will be good. You know what I mean? That's the way I think.
Yeah, I agree. I just follow my moral compass.
Sorry, I kind of went like.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But we are gonna wrap this up. So I want to thank again Liberty Lyffe for coming in and having a discussion with me. Liv, if you want to, obviously tell them about your YouTube channel and your Instagram and everything like that. Yeah. And let them know how they can find you and follow you, man.
I'm on YouTube, Liberty Lyffe. I have like a channel that I'm trying to do vlogging, and like I might switch into automotive soon. And then Instagram, same thing, Liberty Lyffe, spelled Lyffe, and my last name. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to come check out my channel, I'd be more than willing. I hope you guys enjoy it. I don't know. Leave me a comment, like, smash, subscribe, whatever you guys do nowadays. I don't know. But yeah, thank you, LCameraTV, for having me on your podcast. It's been awesome. Very interesting topics, and now my brain's going to be thinking about this stuff for the rest of the day. So thanks.
So thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, share cool things, and that completes another podcast from Lights, Camera, Action. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.